I don't know if you saw this over the weekend also.
I see everything.
Ja Morant?
Yeah.
You see this whole Ja Morant
hubbub? I did. Of course I saw what's going on with Ja Morant.
So if you could, for the audience, summarize what's happening with Ja Morant in Memphis. By the way, a mere months after their GM came out and very strongly said any talk about him being on the block is irresponsible and he's our guy, 10 toes down and all that.
Well, I'll start out by telling you he's 100% going to get traded. That's the first thing I'm going to tell you.
100%?
100%.
Not 95.
For this to happen, what are we talking? 6 games into the season, and we're already doing the bull. All right, and if you don't know what the bull is, so let's play the clip for you. This is Ja Morant post game a couple nights ago. It was a loss, right? It was a loss. Yep. He only played he's averaging a season low in minutes. Career low in minutes right now. He's averaging 28 minutes per game. It was a game he really struggled. He was 3 for 14 from the floor. I don't think he played down the stretch. And apparently there was a discourse between the coach Tomas Isalo and Ja Morant. And then shortly after that, here's Ja with the reporters.
What went wrong to you today?
Go ask the coaching staff.
Do you feel like, it was anything you could do differently, I guess?
You go ask them. They had a whole spiel in here, so.
From the outside, and the outside may be wrong, but from the outside, it didn't look like you had your usual energy tonight.
Go ask the coaching staff why.
Okay. You feel like you should play more?
Go ask the coaching staff. Should I play more or not?
What could have been done different to get a different outcome other than asking the coaching staff?
According to them, probably don't play me, honestly. That's what basically the message was after, so it's cool.
The coaching staff message with us?
It's cool, bro.
We good? You didn't have anything physically wrong in terms of illness or anything?
We're
under the weather.
Okay. I'm fine.
All right.
All right.
So
this is a child.
Yeah, let me clean up a few things. Number one, I think this is one of those instances. A lot of times when you hear these terse answers, people think, "Oh, the player hates the media, or the media have been jerks." Whatever.
No, that's not.
This is not about the media.
No.
This is him trying to, in his mind, I think, give sanitized answers to cover the incendiary remarks that he really wants to make, and he ends up getting suspended. I don't believe he got suspended for those remarks. I think he got suspended because
for what took place right before that.
The
apparently.
unsanitized version of the remarks that he delivered directly to the coaching staff.
Yeah.
And
by the way, the remarks he delivered to the coaching staff was apparently because new head coach Tomas Isalo, who apparently challenged him in the locker room about A, his leadership, and B, his effort, and then Ja Morant's response was deemed inappropriate. Yeah. And let me also add, on Amazon, on the Prime Games that night, their post-game show, which is like Blake Griffin and Udonis Haslem, and Blake Griffin went at Ja Morant with video evidence and everything, how his effort was really, really poor in this game.
I just want to point out not only career lows in minutes, but also in field goal percentage, in assists, and three-point percentage. He's having the worst year of his career right now.
This is a player who, leadership-wise, has been a disaster off the court. Okay. Has done 0 winnings. Been out of the first round 1 time in his career. Last year was out for a lot of the season. Team played well. When he came back, didn't like the style of play that they were playing. Got the coach fired. All right, and now 6 games into this year, we're doing the bullshit? Come on.
I don't know if he got the coach fired. I'm not going to go that far. The coach got fired, sure. But I think one of the things that's really important in the league, everything you say about Ja, yes, he bears responsibility for it. But for the best player in this franchise, right, for him 6 games in to have this kind of loggerheads with the coaching staff.
It's ridiculous.
It's a two-way street, though, right? I think one of the big things for an NBA coach is you have to connect with your star player, and it has to happen pretty much the moment you got the job, for sure, but day one of the offseason where it's officially mine, and now I get to shape it the way I want to. He should have been with Ja every day, because if you haven't sold your vision to your best player, I don't give a damn how good of a coach you are, your X's and O's, your brilliance. If your best player It's not just the best player because we have a bad team and he just happens to be the best. He's a really good player. If he's not bought in, then none of it matters after that. And so I got to put some of it on the coaching staff because clearly y'all hadn't sold the vision. 6 games in. Now, if 40 games in, he's like, I don't think this is working. That's different. But 6 games in, you haven't tried, I don't think.
It feels like the distinction was made that it's like Jaren Jackson Jr.'s team more so than it is Ja Morant's team, right? Like it feels like the vision was sold to Jaren Jackson Jr. and they want to start building around what he does more than what Ja Morant is doing. And like you can't give a half-assed, piss-poor effort and expect everything to be okay. Like he knew what he was doing. He knew the repercussions of what was going to happen.
And what kind of buster coach is it to not confront what's supposed to be the best
you're a
player,
sucker.
the leader?
If you don't do it, you're a sucker.
Yeah, it's total buster if you don't call him out after that kind of effort.
No, of course. I guess my thing is 6 games in, and that's the reaction you're getting from him. Clearly, there was no sell job earlier.
But you know what? Let me ask you this, all right?
Yeah.
Why does there have to be this all-out sell job by the new coach to Ja Morant when they've done no winning? Like, imagine if the Florida Panthers, and I'll give a local example. Imagine the Panthers coming off of the most points in the regular season, and they bring in a new coach who completely changes the style of play. And guess what? For most of that regular season, they were mediocre. Like, why didn't any of the Panther leaders or best players come out challenging their new head coach who changed everything? Like, why can't the coach the team?
There's a couple.
Matthew Tkachuk's dad did.
There's a couple of number one.
All right, but at least Matthew Tkachuk's dad did after game like 75.
This is what I would say. Number one is the coach came in with a resume.
The Panthers.
Yeah, the Panthers coach came in with a resume. In professional sports, but in the NBA specifically, like there is a level of like, who the hell are you? Right? It's a reason why people say, oh, why do these former players keep getting jobs? Because players will listen to former players. At least when the door opens and you walk in and you're a former player, they'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Now, you might lose the benefit of the doubt when you start opening your mouth, but they'll give you that. If you're not a former player, then the stakes get a lot higher. So you have to have been probably an assistant a lot of places for a long time, because what ends up happening is guys say, your new coach is Jonathan Zaslow. And then they call, yo, man, who the hell is Jonathan Zaslow? Yo, you were in Miami. Was he there? Yeah, man, he's good. He's really good. A word? Okay. Now I'll give you the benefit of the doubt.
They would say that about me.
Now, Coach Isalo, he's very experienced, but he coached over there in Europe. And by the way, in Finland. So it's not like he was in Spain. And I remember so-and-so played with me in Chicago. He played for him in Spain. You don't have a lot of people who vouch for you. So you come in, and I go back to your X's and O's might be salient. It might be right. Yeah, build it over around Jaren Jackson. We're going to play this way. But if you don't come in with the stamp of approval, we're not going to listen to you. David Blatt was one of the winningest coaches internationally, anywhere. Objectively, a great coach on every level. He came here, and these guys are like, who the hell are you? And he didn't take the time to build that reputation or that rapport with players. And so they ended up running him out. And he was successful. He was 30-11 when they fired him. So, it sounds unfair, but, man, this happens every year in the NBA. I keep saying it. Your number one ability as a head coach is for people to listen to you. If they don't do that, you're kind of screwed. Now, if the organization is like, yeah, we kind of been trying to move off of Ja anyway, that's a different story for coach. But if that's not the situation, like these are our cornerstones, and one of your cornerstones says, to hell with this, then you haven't done a good enough job selling your vision.
In this specific instance, with this specific team and this specific player, when has it ever been Ja's fault? When has Ja ever taken any kind of responsibility?
I mean, I think
The gun thing.
Yeah.
He did?
I mean, it didn't reach satisfactory levels
The second
for
time.
certain folks.
The second time he did.
Yeah.
The first time, no. The second time, then it was like, yeah.
It's kind of where I want to go with the conversation, because Ja Morant had the world by the balls. He was christened as the next guy.
Yeah.
It had been a while since you had an American basketball player be that kind of star.
So likable.
He had a rocket ship attached to his back. And now, several years later, it seems like a bygone era. He had a real opportunity there to be a face of the league, if not the face. And now this is going down a weird, Stephon Marbury type of path where you wonder what could have been? Is this guy going to be a journeyman? Are a bunch of teams going to try their hand at seeing if this guy can be that kind of pro?
There are going to be teams that line up for it.
Well, you got one on your shirt. The internet likes to think that this is a perfect fit.
I'm glad you said that because I wouldn't go in that direction, me personally, but the Heat are 1,000% going to try and trade for him.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, they're culture fit. What do you think of that?
I think Pat Riley's going to try and hold, but eventually.
Is the other issue, too, is like there's no adult in the room in Memphis? Right? You look around, like Desmond Bane was kind of that guy. Jaren Jackson Jr., not really that guy. Ja Morant, not that guy.
Like, they pay you to be the leader of the team. Why can't he be the adult?
But you need, you need good vets in your locker room, guys that are going to make sure that you're on the up and up and doing things the right way. And it feels like Memphis doesn't have that, or at least anybody of note or repute that would actually be worth listening to.
I would say absolutely going back to the original gun thing. Like, there were warning signs leading up to that, notably the incident with the Indiana Pacers and their bus claiming
and
that
loading dock. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, damn, I forgot about that one.
Yeah,
that was a bad scene.
Like, those are all things I get it. Again, I'm very much for personal responsibility, and Ja has not behaved the way he should have, and I don't think his supporting circle, I think his father at some point, which is ironic because I remember interviewing Ja Morant before the draft, and we asked him, why do you think you're going to be successful in the league? You know, you came from a small school and all that. And he said, because my father is my biggest hater. And I said, what? He said, my father, all my life, everything I've done, he's like, that's not good enough. You think so? And, basically keeping him grounded. And I was like, wow, that's a really cool, interesting dynamic.
He's got cush slash.
And then it just flipped. The kid makes a draft, it makes a league, and now the father is like a cheerleader, just like, yeah, let the good times roll. And that was one of those things where I'm like, yo, if your inner circle doesn't have people who check you, that's an issue. Beyond that, every NBA organization, when you get a star player who is a rookie, I say the same thing every single time. No matter how entitled that kid is, the reality is they don't know what the NBA is. They have no idea. Whatever you do, they're going to assume that this is the NBA. So if you come in and act like he's a savior and give him every concession, let you take the third bus, which I didn't even know existed until recently, do all these kind of concessions that they can do whatever they want. You can't then come back later and be like, hey, okay, enough of this. It's my right here. You on my plane. I'll fly it, right? The only thing that seems to reset that for guys is getting traded. Because you go somewhere else, and the new team is like, this is how we do it here. And like, what? But in Memphis, no, we ain't saying Memphis no more, man. And so when you have the kind of precipitous fall that Ja's had in terms of reputation, like you guys said, the guy thought he was going to be the face of the league. He's exciting. And Zaz, I would argue with you, yeah, they have been winning. They're like, winning in our league should not be just, did they win a title? No, then shut the hell up.
Oh, but they've been at first round one time.
I mean, but they've had injuries and all that, but they've been winning, right? Like, years and years ago, people got upset. I made a De'Aaron Fox comparison to Ja Morant, and my thing was like, yeah, because De'Aaron Fox doesn't win. You want to talk about a guy who's never won? Like, there it is. Like, Ja Morant objectively makes his team better. Objectively, they win games. Objectively, he's gotten them to a point. And then from there, like I said, he's let himself down and let everybody else down with some of his behaviors and his actions. But the reality is, he gets to a new situation, they're not going to, unless it's someone more desperate than Memphis, they're not going to put up with that shit. And here is one of those places where they don't put up with that shit. And the beauty of Miami is that the word is out already. It's not like you got traded to, let's say, Charlotte, and it's all right, no more Mr. Nice Guy. Like, oh, shit. But like, wait a second. I played you guys.
Yeah, I know who you guys are. No metal balls are your best guy.
Yeah,
what?
You can't act that way now with me. Like, Miami, however good or bad they are as a program winning, you know when you step in the horror stories. Oh, they do the body fat thing. Oh, da-da-da. Like, oh, man, Coach Spo don't play. Like,
well, look, the first thing Blake Griffin said on that Amazon Prime broadcast was he looked right to his left to UD and said you wouldn't allow this if you were still in that locker room, right?
But that's why I go back to Memphis allowing, right? Whether it's teammates, whether it's front office, whether it's the coaching staff. They allow that to happen. He's messing up like that. Nobody put him in check. No one in his inner circle, no one in the locker room, no one upstairs, no one in the coaching staff, right? again, I get it. It's his responsibility first before we point any fingers at all these other people. But even as he's messing up, when everybody else just kind of was, Ja, what are you going to do? Like, as if that's your attitude, you have contributed. You're not the main contributor. He is, but you have absolutely contributed.
Yeah.
The Miami thing is really interesting from multiple perspectives, right? Because you look at that locker room, you look at that organization, it's the perfect place to sort of check him where he is and get him to buy in. But their open offense right now was just implemented by a consultant, Noah LaRouche.
That name sounds familiar.
Noah is the guy who implemented this offense in Memphis. So you can look at it one of two ways.
The offense while Ja was out, right? Like, it was more so when he wasn't playing, no?
I mean, look, it's the offense that they're still playing.
They made
and he's clearly not happy.
Correct.
They made a decision to go to a more motion-based offense. Last year, I might have added Taylor Jenkins was not the reason they did that. And then Taylor Jenkins ends up getting fired. Him and Noah LaRouche. They were the only two that got fired from the staff because of an offense that they didn't like for some reason. They end up going to more pick-and-roll stuff to end the season, and that's what got them into the playing in the playoffs. But the point remains, the guy who was kind of the brains behind, the architect, I should say, behind that system, was a consultant here in Miami, and for this offense that they're really excited about and it seems to be working, which, regardless of who the architect is, seems to be antithetical from the way that Ja wants to play.
That's exactly right. And so you can look at it one of two ways, right? Either you get him to buy in. He already knows how this offense works because it's been implemented at his previous spot. And it works perfectly because he does seem like the type of athlete and basketball player who can really benefit from this type of offense. Or you're trading for a guy who has out loud said, I don't like the style of basketball that you play, and he becomes a malcontent in a locker room that is getting along in a incredible way right now after dealing with a malcontent last year.
Yeah. It's tough because you found something that's successful and you found great chemistry, and at the same time, you know that this incarnation of the Heat has a ceiling, and that ceiling is not championship, and it's probably not even conference finals.
Heat fans are a living embodiment, though, of a meme. Anytime a superstar is available in this situation, Heat fans will naturally think that it's their time to go whale hunting. But they do make a lot of sense. You look at the teams and the lay of the land, they probably make the most sense in terms of a team that could use his services in a place with a culture that might be strong enough to absorb him at this stage in his development. But it does seem a little risky, and you did just have a superstar nuke your season last year. Despite all we'd point to, hey, we have Bam, he'd be a good leader. I know Jimmy's at a different stage in his career, but they weren't able to corral Jimmy at the end.